All right, let's go ahead and jump back into the Bitcoin price action, getting a little bit of a dump today. Definitely was not correct yesterday when I said, hey, Lew's probably in. No, that was a pretty dumb call there. I'll admit I was wrong on that. The probabilities were actually not in my favor. Well, yeah, that did sweep liquidity, and it could have been the low. These were pretty poor. It was likely this was all going to get taken out, as we have done right now. And now I would say there's a much better chance that the low would actually be in. We got the nice higher time frame bull divs coming over here on the RSI. We're still holding a nice macro higher low on the charts. So that's nice to see. Let's jump over to the order flow real quick, just because got some things going on over here. First things first, if you remember in yesterday's video, I said watch out for this 600 Bitcoin sell wall, and you can see just how well respected these sell walls can be sometimes. That did in fact mark the top. So cool to see that actually did play out, even though I didn't think it would get respected. But after coming down here, squeezing a bunch of longs, you can see that open interest drop. We now have a lot of order book buying pressure right now. You can see all of these buys coming in, thousands and thousands of Bitcoin looking to be scooped up in long positions around where price is right now. So that is super bullish. I definitely think that order book pressure is going to help us out. And the fact that we did squeeze more longs actually over here on Binance this time is a good sign to see. Yesterday it was more of just on the Bybit USD pair, which doesn't have as much volume. We look at the Bybit USDT pair, you can see this doesn't squeeze as many longs, but we do trap a lot of shorts. You can see people are shorting as price is coming down. So we're trapping people on Bybit. We're squeezing people out of longs over on Binance. Order flow looks pretty decent right now. But let's jump back over to the Bitcoin chart without the levels. And you can see we are now below support, or at least below this point of control. Let's go ahead and turn on the rest of our indicators here. Jump out to the daily just so you can see this is what the volume profile is looking like right now. Good chance we don't close over it on the daily, but at least maybe on the weekly if we can get above that, right? We got 4 days on the weekly left. Let's try to get back above this level. I don't want us to just come up and reject. Right now it's fine. Like this, just because we're rejecting right now, that's just to be expected, right? You're going to have pullbacks after a big wick like that. But I would like this to hold. As we talked about, we have the higher low on the chart. So let's see if we can maintain where we are on Bitcoin and start hunting up through this volume, get through that, have another proper back test, and then we could go for the full-on breakout with maybe more shorts that are trapped in the market to use as fuel from this price action here. I'm very confident at this point that Bitcoin is not just going to roll all the way over into the bear market just because of how bad these highs are, right? We have crazy macro poor highs from 69K up to 74K at this point. All of this is going to get taken out, I would assume, right? So unless we see some sort of black swan event or something crazy, the chart's going to naturally want to magnet up there. And I think all it's doing right now is, just flushing out those long positions, everyone trying to long the breakout. Of course, there's going to be a lot of retail doing that. So it makes sense to have these quick flushes on price action, and it's totally to be expected. But we are below volume right now. So let's see if we can actually get back above that, flip it into support, and then clear skies ahead. We go over to total 3. You can see with Bitcoin failing the volume, we also have a very similar thing on the altcoin market. This very important volume level was lost, and we're now rejecting it on the shorter term time frames, like the hourly. Looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart with how these volume levels are being respected. And I would say the same thing here. Not the end of the world. This doesn't confirm a backtest or anything like that, but we don't necessarily want this to break. So let's see if we can maintain kind of where we are right now, get back above this, and confirm that back into support once again. And once again, I'm fairly confident that's going to happen with everything I'm seeing on the charts overall. But we'll see. Potentially there is a bigger sweep ahead of us, right? Before coming back up. I wouldn't roll that entirely out of the equation, right? If we see this, I wouldn't be panic selling the lows because structure is broken. No, I mean, we can go down quite a bit lower, still hold structure, and then bounce. But if I were to just take a guess, I would say we hunt straight back up, and this was just a quick flush for long positions. Nothing really to worry about there. Still have plenty of time to close back above this volume and confirm it on the weekly, and we can make this chart still look really, really good on the higher term time frames. So quick flushes like this are not something to worry about in my opinion. We do have the dollar still continuing up, but as we've talked about, it's not really affecting markets right now. So I don't really know if there's any reason to truly pay attention to this. Maybe if we see a full breakout, maybe if it does come into resistance, that's actually more bullish for us. I mean, we are coming into trend resistance right now, but the dollar is showing a lot of strength after showing a lot of weakness. So I think this could be giving us some signs of what market participants are actually looking for right now, and that might be a little bit more safety, at least safety in the dollar versus other currencies out there in the world. Let's jump over to the Russell. This is another reason I thought Bitcoin was kind of just going to head up yesterday, because we had perfectly backtested point of control, but we did fail that. We got below it a little bit. Once again, very similar thing to our other charts. We got below the volume, but we got a nice wick, nice bounce off this daily EMA. Not really too worried. As long as we can get back above this, I would expect to start hunting up here. All these highs are pretty poor, so still pretty bullish over here, nothing too concerning. We jump over to the S&P 500, and this is just continuing to kind of chop sideways, and I actually don't mind the sideways chop over here on the S&P. I don't really want this to be going parabolic, because you need a lot of money to pump this thing up. So if the S&P is going parabolic like it has been, that means money is being exhausted from other assets into the S&P 500. I want money to actually be flowing out of this into riskier assets, so that means that this chart would kind of distribute, or at least slow down a little bit. I don't want this to crash, right? If it crashes, that means money is just exiting all markets. But if it is slowly distributing out of the S&P 500 into, let's say, the Russell or Bitcoin, that is a pretty healthy thing to see, and I don't mind it at all. If you look at fractals from previous cycles, you do see when Bitcoin starts going parabolic, the S&P usually starts to tail off or distribute at its highs, and I think we're getting set for that parabola to start over here on Bitcoin. Could it play out like previous cycles on the all-time high break where this just goes to hundreds of thousands of dollars? I have made the case against that, but I've also made the case for it, and we'll just have to take it day by day. Predicting the future, especially when it comes to crypto, is basically impossible. But yeah, once again, I'm going to say the low's in, or at least I think it is. But we'll see what happens. If you have any questions about anything I just talked about in this video, or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also got a VIP Discord down there. You can click the link, read more about it, decide for yourself if it's worth your money or not. And then also down there, you'll see some exchanges. Those are my exchange partners. So if you want some nice rewards and bonuses, use my referral links to sign up. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.